There's a lot of shills or ignorant people who are deliberately miseducating the people why the psychology of fascism is relevant to the capital elites. Invariably, when I log on Blue Sky, which I'm pretty sure is a CIA shitbox designed to shepherd and herd anybody with progressive sentiment into a containment chamber where they can't influence broader society. I'm pretty sure Emily Deans is a CIA agent, and her character of Darth works basically is doing a job for intelligence by being a high-level poster here, and a lot of the high-level posters here are basically agents, I'm pretty sure. Because if you look at this thing, if you're at all bright, it's basically X for a different group they need to control, right? So one thing you'll see on Blue Sky a lot is a deliberate miseducation what fascism is from the perspective of a capital elite class. They'll invariably say and emphasize top layer qualities that are as relevant to the capital elite as me as a human being, the top layer qualities of a cat teaser when playing with my cat. This is an orange slug. This is a blue bird. This is a yellow mouse. Like, they'll emphasize those qualities of fascism, the top layer triggers for the population. And as far as the elite capital class is concerned, they don't care about that. Much in the way, if my goal is to get my cats to hunt, my goal is to get the cats I'm a guardian of to get into a hunting mode. The top layer qualities are only relevant to them. And I'm controlling those top layer qualities to get the cat into a state I want them to be in, to hunt, to expend energy, to be healthy and happy. From the evil elite capitalist perspective, the top layer qualities of fascist psychology are only relevant to the social marks they want to control. And unlike me as a cat guardian, trying to be kind to my cats and make them thrive and happy, the elites want to shepherd you into a ditch where they own you like a slave, which is why they're piquing fascist psychology, because that's what it does best of all, right? The top layer qualities of fascism, classic fascism, are ethnonationalism, ethnic purity, the sanctity of traditional family, where male is the top of the family, female is subordinate to him, children are subordinate to them. And society is structured around these values. That's the top layer quality of fascism. Ethnonationalism, meaning the purity and goodness of the ethnic group and the nation. And traditional family, this innate structure where male is superior, female is below him, child below them. The top layer qualities of fascism do not matter to the capital elites. They don't matter to them any more than a purple slug, a green insect toy, or a yellow mouse toy is relevant to me as the human trying to guide my cats into a state I want them to be in. So get that clear through your head. Everybody on Blue Sky or whatever liberal shit media you're reading, which is trying to make it seem like these top layer qualities are what's relevant to people like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Ellison, Sergey Brin, it's not relevant to them. The deeper social structure, meaning how power is conceptualized in society, how power is conceptualized, granted, preserved, or changed in society is what matters to them. The deeper mechanics of the thing, meaning it is like this because of that delusion, right? The delusion part is relevant to the marks, the society. The organization and structure of power in society is what matters to them, the capital elites. Does that make sense? In the same way, if I'm guiding my cats to get into a hunting mode. Their delusion that that's a slug is subordinate to my desire to get them to have dilated eyes, crouch down, stalk, pounce, kill, and feel a gratifying sense I'm a hunter and successful in that. That's what I'm trying to engender in them. Their cat perception of seeing a mouse or a bug doesn't matter to me. It's just something I'm using to get them into that cluster of traits, which will make them feel like a successful hunter. In a similar way, things like ethno-nationalist purity or traditional family are cat toy-like triggers to get a population to go into a fascist psychology mode. How power is conceptualized, preserved, or changed in society. That is what's relevant to the leadership. So those top layer triggers can completely be changed. MAGA does not believe in ethno-nationalist purity. I know they tell you that on Blue Sky because you don't know any MAGAs and they encourage you to isolate yourselves. But if you talk to an average MAGA, they don't believe in ethno-nationalist purity. They believe the more common delusion for MAGA is citizenship, right? So it's very common for MAGAs to be Hispanic or to be white or even black sometimes. Black men shifted towards Trump relative to the GOP in the past. What they unites these people is not ethnicity, but citizenship, right? That's the trigger for them. They want you to believe it's just like Germany, and they believe in an ethno-nationalist purity, but they don't. They dog whistle these things, but your average I feel like MAGA dog whistles ethno-nationalist things more for the progressives. Because the progressives need it to be true in their minds. MAGAs are motivated by ethno-nationalism, so I should be scared and under threat. And I feel like the number one reason MAGA signals white supremacist dog whistles is for progs to control them and terrify them. But if you talk, again, I know you guys are encouraged by your CIA agents to stay on Blue Sky. You get the social media website you deserve. Emily Dean's famous for saying that on Darth. Don't stay with me, safe and ignorant. Like literally, a perfect surfer was mocking at the beginning of the beginning of the tech authoritarian state. Artists were mocking how we were shifting toward a Nazi-like regime, a communist-like regime, where becoming a unit of a group, the leader tells you what to do, what information to see and what not to see. Like, you could literally sing the lyrics to fucking Pet, which was made in 2003 after W's war, as a mock of what's going on. Now they unironically are like that. Stay on Blue Sky, safe and ignorant. Trust in me. I'll guide you. You don't need to see that filthy slop. You know, like, you bitch is a CIA agent. I'm convinced of it. Like, I've debated, like, are you a fucking moron? Are you, like, so controlled you look like an agent? Or she's gotta be an agent. Anyway, so she'll sit there on her stupid Red Panda account being like, don't read anything but what I tell you, because we're the party of openness and liberalism. But, like, if you actually talk to MAGAs, they're very much like, I like different people. Like, they're not like your average MAGA. They're like, they have Spanish friends. They have friends of different groups. But the thing they're delusional about is citizenship, right? So there's a nationalist component, but not ethno-nationalist, meaning they don't want a white utopia. It's common for MAGAs to be like, the left hates white people and is scapegoating white people, creating unfairness against white people. But the white people are superior. We want to purge non-white people from our lands. They don't believe that. I mean, I'm not saying but like your average MAGA is like me and all our MAGA friends. We're all different people, but we're all Americans, right? I'm not saying that they're right or good, because I know you people think in a binary. If disagree with me, oh, bad Nazi. I know that's how you people think. But I just try to see how a lot of the things you're reacting to are from your liberal, progressive CIA mind control chamber, and you are literally encouraged not to talk to or try to understand other people and think you're just good and just. A lot of the shit the MAGA elites do is for you. It's to scare you. It's to make you convince the other side are ethno-nationalists, right? But if you spend time talking to a MAGA, which is a painful experience, it's painful as talking to a crazy prog, like side buzz, blue hair streak. If you're not with us, you're against us. Like, it's just painful as talking to one of those. But your average MAGA does not want a white utopia. I feel like the signaling for that is mostly to control you people. So this way you can't collaborate with MAGAs, talk to MAGAs, understand MAGAs, or convert MAGAs. I swear to God, I think that's true. Because there's this big gap, what MAGAs think and want, and what you people think MAGAs think and want. And I feel like the constant, like, Elon goes, that wasn't for MAGAs, that was for you. That was so you could just keep staying in your mind control chamber on Blue Sky isolated, like they're all Nazis. They love Elon did that. And in reality, you talk to an average MAGA and they're just like, they don't mind diversity of different groups as long as they're all Americans and citizens. Like, there is absolutely a nationalist component to their shit. But the ethno-nationalist portion is just a hallucination that they're telling mostly progs in CIA control boxes, so you become convinced the other side is an all bad enemy you can't possibly collaborate with, you can't speak to. They want to exterminate different people. That's what they're making you think, right? And in reality, it's not that far gone. They're mostly like in this lane, like you talk now, this is their lane. They're like, I've been reading Facebook, and they told me them Democrats want to erase Americans because Americans don't want communism and a state control. And so they're bringing all people who will help the Democrats gain total control, and they're criminals. They're from gangs. There's no part where they will say, and I only want white people in America. But I feel like MAGA, the billionaire elite MAGA, like these pieces of shit like Libs of TikTok, Cernovich, all the orbiters of the top, they will constantly promote ethno-nationalist part. But like your average MAGA on the bottom literally thinks the Democrats bought a bunch of criminals here. And their promotion of nationalism is because they're under a delusion the Democrats brought criminals here. And they don't mind immigration that's legal and good. They're not what they're telling you on Blue Sky. And they want you to think that because they want you, like, again, it's a way of turning you into a fearful, paranoid freak yourself. If you're convinced everybody who likes MAGA is a murderous criminal who wants to kill different people, the way these pieces of shit will say all day on your liberal mind control chambers, you can't collaborate them. You can't get together and talk and be like, maybe our common enemy is the people making us think these things. Like, you think there's like a criminal invasion, and I think you're the criminal invasion because you're a murderous Nazi who wants to like wipe different people off the face of the earth. Like, maybe the same people are making us think both these things, like, and they're the real issue. Like, maybe we should care about all that shit. Like, why? I really don't like that you think trans people are invading bathrooms. Like, you don't accept or get trans people, but like, why am I concerned with whether or not trans people use the bathroom above other things, like the fact they're being economically oppressed to the point they're homeless and do sex work because of a severely expensive medical disorder? Like, why, as a progressive, would I not focus on that above all else, which is their number one thing? Like, even if every bathroom in the country were banned, and so every trans man to use the men's room, It's very evident to anybody who's not a fucking nitwit that universal health care and kids from aggressive families who are trans, they could just go into any hospital at 18 or even 16. They get their America healthcare card. Any hospital they can go into, get private care. I don't have to tell their dad. Like, say, at 16 or 18 that stars, it's completely comped by the state. That seems like it would help them a lot more. I mean, it's bad if that were to happen, but that's way worse that doesn't exist. And it exists in every other country, by the way. We're the only one that doesn't exist. Like, that's a developed country, the only one where that doesn't exist. It seems like that's the biggest gap between why gay rights were so successful and trans rights weren't. Not bathrooms. Meaning, you people listening to Nancy Mace that there's trans lurking inside every bathroom. I'm kind of the same way when I act like, not until we have all gender bathrooms will we have equality. It's like, you're elevating that above the obvious thing in America that's been the issue. A 200K medical disorder that you have to go through your dad's insurance if you have a progressive family, or you might not have any insurance if your family is poor as fuck and underemployed. That seems like the bigger issue to me. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm always seeing these GoFundMes by trans women and men where they're like, because of all the oppression, I'm broke. That seems like a bigger deal. And like fixing that would help that person a lot more than making sure every bathroom in the country said all gender. Why are they making us progressives? I use the air quotes because you're just a mind control victim. Care about if we can stop the MAGAs from banning bathrooms, as if that's like the biggest fucking struggle. At no point do I wake up, oh, holy shit, I'm just like them. I care about shit that doesn't matter. I'm being trained to ignore the real oppression. And I'm convinced powerless people in my society are doing all this and want to kill me. I'm not a progressive. I'm in some kind of psychologically right cult. Don't expect that to happen anytime soon. Because there's too many agents like Emily Dean singing the song Pet by Perfect Circle, which was considered a stark mockery of what neocons started. Except now it's so normal and commonplace. Like, oh, of course I'll isolate myself and not even try to understand the other side. Just believing they're all bad demons makes me feel good. Because I'm not the all bad demon. I'm on the side of the good power, getting the all bad demons who are eternal evil. So I went off tangent, and I was talking about how on these CIA mind control chambers, progressive spaces run by agents and feds, they encourage you to view the top layer qualities of fascist triggers as relevant or necessary. They're not. They'll be like, fascism is about ethnonationalist purity and the sanctity of the traditional family to give the male power over the female. It's like, those are all just triggers to make the weak feel powerful and merge with their leaders. Those are all just common triggers to make the weak feel powerful and merge with all-powerful God leaders, where the more power those leaders get, the more they are convinced they are getting powerful. That's what really matters. That's how power is conceptualized and allotted in a society. It could just as easily be the oppressed ones are not Aryans, they're minorities or trans people, and the all bad eternal evil are Nazis. Again, these are labels the elites are weaving in society. I'm not saying actual Nazis, but they are labeled in the class of Nazi, but they're eternal, immoral stain. There's not education and social differences. There's just your DNA, your soul. In a psychologically authoritarian right theocracy, it'll be a soul. In a more ethno-nationalist, ethno part, where it's not as much religion, it's DNA and genetics. But it's entirely possible to make a psychologically right fake progressive group where the eternal immoral harm is a soul-like quality. It's like just in your makeup. You can only be evil and hurt us. You know, like theocracies, it'll be a soul, less genes. And the fake progressive right, psychologically fascist group functions more like a theocracy because social factors come to be moral factors, like your soul. So the all bad class has a bad soul. It can't be changed. It's intrinsic. In leftist societies, they're above all else, power is distributed by making everyone forcibly equal, right? In an authoritarian right society, power is very rigid. It's similar to a feudal system. Feudal systems are the prototype for fascism, where the king is where he is because he's God. He is a part of you, but above you, the most superior specimen of your people. And he's immortal. His spirit never dies, it just gets reincarnated, and he's God, right? So that's how power is conceptualized in an authoritarian right system based in the psychology of feudal systems. The people just below the king god leader, the Führer, is the oppressed good class. They've been oppressed by this eternal evil. And that's another thing. They make you think oppression is left. Oppression features in both right and left. Like, Aryans thought they were oppressed by Jews, right? Like, oppression is just the means to make a change. It's not only like that's the thing. Like, they make these people think, well, if I feel oppressed, I must be left. It's like, no. The Nazis strongly believed the Aryans were oppressed, and they were starving and fucked over by the world, by the way. So it's not like they hallucinated that. They were fucked very badly. Germany had it the worst in the Depression, right? So that delusion, the Jew oppressed them, was a material reality. They weren't doing well. And disproportionately, Jewish bankers in America were why. So it must be the Jew, right? Just because your cult has like, I believe I'm oppressed, doesn't mean you're left, right? That's absolutely a feature of right authoritarian cult delusions. So, like I said, there's the all-powerful, immortal, never dies king. His power is where he is because of his makeup, his soul, his lot. He's just better innately, and you can't touch him. You can't learn to become him. That's just where he is and should be. And the class below them are part of the oppressed good group in fascism. And this is distinctly fascist, the oppressed good group. They're actually really special and morally superior, but they've been oppressed by eternal evils. So the class below them is the special good group who's more special than the other good people, right? They have a special power. They're closer to the king god, right? So, and they get that status by helping him oppress the most. They get special privilege in society. Everyone knows they're a high-ranking member of the Führer's cult, the Google cult, whatever. They have a special power, and that is preserved and augmented. So above the good oppressed people who are held down by the eternal evil is the special class of helpers doing the most oppression. Then below them are the good and oppressed. They've had a hard shake. They're actually really superior, morally excellent people, except for this eternal evil, right? This eternal evil who just pollutes and destroys. And it's not an education thing. It's not a social factor thing. It's in their core makeup, their soul, their DNA, whatever. That's important because that component is necessary to keep these structures like this forever and only augment this, right? When you don't believe in social factors or education or change, like leftists do, that like king god, helpers who help the most, the good, the scapegoat evil who's always weak, can only be kept like that. And the gap between this and this can only grow. If you don't believe a change, if they mind fuck you, it can't be changed. That conception of how power is distributed in a society is what matters to capital elites. They don't care If you think the oppressed are Aryans and the eternal evil's a Jew, or the oppressed are American minorities and the eternal evil is random white women, you're calling it all bad Nazi that can only be purged. They don't give a fuck about any of them details, as long as you agree to distribute and hold power like that. The leader is an untouchable, immortal, reincarnating, upload his consciousness to a robot, living forever God. And there's no like thing you can do to change that. It's just how it should be, like the way feudal proles think of their king. Below them are the nobles. In a fascist psychology structure, this would be the good people who help the most. The good people who are most apt to help the all good king's objectives. So, like, you're the most willing to oppress the scapegoats and the most willing to make this unequal society of power distribution where you're part of the victims, the oppressed, but you're more willing than the other oppressed to do something about it, to punish the all bad eternal moral stains, right? So you have special, and the society will always reflect your special, unique, good quality. And then below you is the good, the deserving, the oppressed, but they're not as willing to help Wotan, Führer do all these things. And then there's the scapegoat. It's always a weak person to make that delusion more real. Like, I'm getting so much power just like him. And it's a proposition of foreverness, an eternal immorality, not learning, not social factors like fucking commies, where forced equality, you're a comrade, I'm a comrade, our leader's a wise brother. He's not more powerful, you're imagining things, he's your brother guiding you. Nah, they want maximum hate and believing the only answer is purging. Because if you allow for the opportunity of education or learning or change amongst classes to eliminate classes, then that threatens Wotan, right? So in a rightist society, the enemy is like that innately, whether it's DNA, like an ethnonational society, or souls, more like a theocracy. The progressive form is much more like a theocracy in that they believe in rotten souls that can never change. They don't care. As long as you're agreeing to a social structure where power is cemented by birth, there's no social factors, there's no change. That's what they want a cat teaser like trigger in populations, right? So whether they turn progressivism to a theocracy practically, or they just use the nationalist portion of ethno-nationalism for MAGA, but make the progressives think they're ethno-nationalists to make it like more far gone, thus no point talking to them and trying to convince them. They don't care. As long as you agree to a power structure like that can only be like that. And the only way to get any power is to augment Wotan's total rule. And by the way, a huge component is the more the mark is losing their rights, the more they are convinced they are as powerful as Wotan, right? So, like the Führer, Wotan, king-like leadership figure, the more they attack the scapegoats and tell them they're doing it for the masses oppressed by the scapegoat, the more they're convinced every authoritarian evil their leader does is really them. So there's this like deliberate encouraging to merge a weak, powerless individual with the most powerful, brutal authoritarian, right? Again, they don't care what you're telling yourself. Like, I don't care if my cat thinks it's killing a slug or a bird, as long as it has those qualities, because that benefits me as the cat guardian, then my cat's getting exercise. And if for an evil, degenerate Satanist to lead, if you're agreeing to a rigid power structure that can't be changed and you can only serve the king god to get power and are willing to feel a delusional sense of freedom and power, eliminating an all bad evil you are convinced oppressed you and the good people, they don't care what the fuck you're telling yourself. Understand? You will never find anyone on Blue Sky educating that's why they're doing this, because they don't want you to wake up they're doing it to you too, right? Whether you're joining Google Revolution, you're so far out there, or you're just an ordinary progressive that they're low key peaking these things like they're all bad, they can't change, and trying to get you to like, despite their calling themselves progressives, they're trying to get you to agree education isn't real, social factors aren't real, they're innately evil. They're your eternal enemy. We're the all good, and you need to serve us to be part of the all good. They're low key trying to get you to think like that, but like Google Revolution is far out there. Like they are full blown fascists, right? And they think they're in some kind of making equity leftist cult. No, no, no. The features of leftism, anti-leftism, authoritarian leftism is everyone's equal to the point sir and ma'am is changed to comrade, doctor and patient is comrade, to maintain this gaslighting, we're all equal, we're all equal, no one's more powerful than the other, we're all equal. And any observed power differences, like the chairman and his government versus the people, is reframed as father or big brother. Again, this is to try to gaslight the victim of communist authoritarianism that we're not unequal with less power. We're part of a big human family, and the reason you're guiding me is because you're more wise. I could hypothetically become as wise as you one day, the way in a family a big brother will guide a child, and then the child grows to be just as wise, if not more wise, than the big brother was. That is how they want you to think. Like you're giving up your power to make equality and be as strong as possible together, like a family. The way a child gives up their power to a big brother or a father. For the goal in a family, that child will eventually be just as strong, if not stronger, than his predecessors. Fascism and authoritarian right don't do that. It's all about delusional personal power. Wotan can do anything he wants because I'm a part of Wotan and the Fuhrer and the most special of the all bad oppressed people. I mean, the all good oppressed people. I'm the most special because I create this inequality most of all, which in my mind I'm telling myself is justice for intergenerational harms of the Jew against the Aryan, or in this cult, Google Revolution, the intergenerational harms of this broke, mentally ill nurse who said things in 2001 and she must be purged now. And the all bad evil is holding us down from our greatness and continuing this cycle of stifling the best, most morally pure, perfect people. They don't care what the fuck you're telling us. As long as you agree to that, it's like this, it can only be like this. And the only way is like for this to go from here to be like even more like a triangle, bro. We don't care. As long as you agree society is a triangle, it can only possibly be like elongated versus what communists is asking its people to do. Everything should be a flat line. And if we're up here, it's because we're trying to bring you up here, right? And we need to have this power temporarily. Do it. How power is conceptualized and distributed in society. It's the difference between authoritarian right and authoritarian left. They don't give a fuck what cat teaser ass delusions the people are thinking, as long as they're agreeing to distribute and hold power in that fashion. And that's psychologically right and authoritarian right if loss of rights and total control of the people is the means to achieve it. Yeah, you're not going to see anyone blue sky saying that because they're all narcs trying to make you think that way. That's all there is psychological right cults now. There's no leftist presence.